Hi, I'm Kevin Borland, and today I'm going to show you how to download your DNA kit, your raw data from Ancestry.com, and then upload it to Borland Genetics. It's not a very difficult process, but it does take a few minutes. But I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you step by step exactly how to do it. Okay, step one, go to your internet browser. Here you see Google Chrome I have opened up on my laptop. I recommend using a laptop or a device with significant amount of storage because the file we're going to download from Ancestry is actually quite large. So I'm using Google Chrome here, but you could use any browser you like. However, you would normally get to Ancestry.com. Okay, so now here I am at Ancestry.com. I choose to remain logged in because I work from home. However, if you have been logged out, you may be prompted to enter your password and your username, after which you'll get to this screen. And then at the top of this screen, there will be a menu bar with options like Home, Trees, Search. We want DNA, and when we click on that, we're going to get a list of options, and we want to choose the first, Your DNA Results Summary. When we click on it, the screen will flash a bit and ultimately load, and this is sort of your dashboard with respect to your primary DNA kit with Ancestry.com. Now, if you have more than one DNA kit, you can see them by going up here to View Another Test. This will show you all of the DNA kits that you administer, and you can pick the correct one. Of course, if it's someone else's kit that you are uploading to Borland Genetics, please make sure that you have their permission to do so. Okay, so we can confirm that this is the correct kit because it says that this is the test shown to matches as K. Borland and linked to Kevin Borland, and that's me, and that's the kit that I would like to upload to Borland Genetics. So I go to Settings, and this takes me to the DNA settings for Kevin Borland, and that is for the kit for Kevin Borland. So we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you will have some actions. And the action we want to choose, of course, is download raw DNA data. And it will download a zip file of your raw DNA data. So we can click download, and you will have to re-enter your password. And that is because, and then you also have to click that you understand that after your DNA is downloaded, the downloaded copy will not be protected under Ancestry DNA's security measures. And of course not, because once you download it to your device, I mean, Ancestry cannot be responsible if you leave your device on a table at a restaurant or something like that, and somebody has access to your data, or whatever you do with your data is your responsibility once you download it. This does not transfer the data from Ancestry to your computer. It creates a copy. So you don't have to worry about what happens to the data at Ancestry. It's still there. This does not affect your account in any way. It just makes a copy and stores that copy on your device so that you can upload it to other sites or do whatever you wish with it. Then you click Confirm, and almost there. Please check your inbox for an email from us. Then follow the instructions to begin your download. So what you're going to want to do is go to the email inbox for the email you use to create your Ancestry account. So in real life, you will get an email from Ancestry.com, and it may take anywhere from 30 seconds to, I think the longest it's ever taken for me was about 2 hours. In this case, it took about 2 or 3 minutes, and I got an email from Ancestry.com. And I'm going to go now to my Gmail and open up the message and continue from there. So here I am in my email, and I am going to confirm the data download. Click on the button, and I'm taken back to Ancestry.com to this special download screen here, where I am allowed to click and download the raw DNA to my device. I'm going to click it, and it gives you a little bit to read about, tells you a little bit about the type of file that you're downloading. But on the bottom, you will see there, has downloaded or is in the process of downloading a large zip file onto my device. Okay, so I'm using a Windows PC with Google Chrome, and I know that it will store my downloaded file in the Downloads folder. But I don't know what type of device you're using, and I don't know what type of browser you're using. So now I'm going to show you how to find the file and what to do with it once it's on your device. Okay, so now we're going to locate the file. On the bottom left, you can see the file has been downloaded. And it has a name like DNA data and then the date and zip. It's a generic name. You go to the options here, you can show it in the folder. And there it is. It is in my downloads folder as expected. So the next step we're going to have to do is unzip the file. How exactly to unzip a file is going to vary a little bit from device to device. So I'm going to show you how to do it on a Windows PC, and if you need help doing this, just go to the Borland Genetics Facebook group, the Borland Genetics users group on Facebook, and there'll be plenty of people there that will be happy to help you if you're on a Mac or if you are on some other type of device. However, this is the most common way you would unzip the file for upload to Borland Genetics. Okay, so now I'm in my downloads folder, and it has automatically highlighted the downloaded file, the DNA data 2020-0421.zip. So what I want to do is at the top, I'm going to click here on Extract, Compressed Folder Tools. And what that's going to do is it's going to extract a text file from the zipped archive. I'm going to click Extract All, although all is simply one file in this case, and it asks me for a location. I'm just going to pick the default location, which is the same location where the zip file was stored. So I'm going to extract, and it opens up another window. I'm going to close that. So we can see now in the downloads folder, in addition to the zip file, it's created a subdirectory of the same name, and when I double click that, it has my raw DNA file in a text format, which is the type of file that is suitable for upload to Borland Genetics. Okay, so we're halfway there. You have downloaded the file down from the cloud, from the Ancestry server onto your computer, and now we're going to upload it onto the Borland Genetics server. And by the way, knowing the differences between those two terms, downloading and upload is going to give you all kinds of street cred in the DNA Facebook groups. So we're going to upload it to Borland Genetics next. If you don't already have an account, I'm going to show you how to create an account. So the next thing we want to do is to navigate to borlandgenetics.com. So I'm going to go up here, borlandgenetics.com. And that's going to take you to the Borland Genetics landing page where you can either log into your existing account. If you have one, you just type in your email address and username, and your password on the next page. Or you could watch a brief video on, get a high-level sort of overview on what Borland Genetics is about, or create an account. And that's what we're going to do now. We're going to create a new Borland Genetics account. This is a free account. So to sign up, I would recommend taking a look at the terms of service. So I'm going to click on that, and it will take you to all the details from use of cookies to every painstaking detail on what it means to be a member of Borland Genetics' website. And I say painstaking, but it's really not bad. This is actually a simple read compared to a lot of other terms of service. And it's important that you do so you understand exactly what my responsibilities are to you and what your rights are as a user on the website. So once you have read that, you can start to sign up here. Your first name, your last name. please use your real name. I'm not going to sell your data to anyone or anything like that. And as far as how your name is displayed to other users in the Messenger app within the Borland Genetics website, you can set it to whatever you want. You can choose an alias or a handle. Enter your email address. I'm going to use my Gmail. And it has to be a real email address, of course, because it's going to verify that you are a real user, that you have a real email address. It's going to send you a verification email. I am not going to send you any spam emails or any updates or anything like that. This is simply so you have an email on file for things like resetting your password if you forget it. Here I'm going to enter password. It's basically creating a new password. And I have read the terms of service, and I'm going to register. So, a verification email has been sent to the email address you provided. Within the next few minutes, you should receive an email providing a link by which you can instantly activate your account. If you do not receive an email within 15 minutes, you may submit your account for manual email verification by sending an email with the subject "Verify email to Borland Genetics." And usually you won't have to do so. Typically, if you don't see the email verification come in, it's because it's in your spam folder or something. But if for whatever reason, if you don't, feel free to click on the Borland Genetics link and it will send me an email to my personal email, and I will take care of the issue for you. Next, after a few minutes, you should check your email and you will find an email with a link to click on where you'll be asked to enter the same password that you chose on the previous screen. So now I'm back in my email and my Gmail account, and typically this is pretty close to instant. So I've got my verification email here. Thanks for signing up. The account has been created. Please click this link to activate your account. If for some reason it's not a link, if you just get text, you can copy and paste it into your browser. But here it rendered properly. It's a link. I click on it, and now my account's been activated. I can now log in, and that's what I'm going to do next. Click on Login, and here it's pre-populated my login information, but it may not, depending on your computer and your settings. In which case, just put in the email that you used to sign up and then the password and click Login. And when you log in for the first time, or if the terms of service have changed, you'll be taken to the terms of service page. And again, if you didn't read them before, hopefully you did, but just take a little time and look through them and understand how the site works. Okay, so now we're going to go to Home. And on the home page, there are some tabs up here, but we're not going to use those right now. We're going to use what I call the widgets, which are these pictures with the big green buttons under them. 3 of these are just projects. They're like showcase projects, which you could join if they're applicable to you, if you have an ancestor from Harrison County, Ohio, or if your last name is Capper, or if you're a descendant of the Log and Vetland family of Norway. Otherwise, and for now, since all we're doing is uploading a kit, we're just going to click on the Resource Manager, which will always be first in your list of widgets. So we're going to click on Resource Manager, and it will be empty because you have not yet uploaded any DNA resources. So what we're going to do is going to click Upload a new DNA resource. And you're going to have to tell it whose DNA this is. This is information about the DNA donor. It is not necessarily your information, although in this case I am the DNA donor. So I'm going to put in my own information, Kevin Borland, male, 1975. Leave the death year blank so it knows that I'm living, in which case it'll make the kit private. You can upload a picture if you want, but I'm not going to do that right now. Next I have to tell it the source of the DNA, or the source of the DNA kit rather, and this is from Ancestry. And then my authority to upload the DNA, in other words, what legal authority I have to upload this to a third-party website. In this case, it's because I'm the donor. But if I was the legal guardian of the donor, that would be another option, or if the donor is deceased because you don't need their permission, or any of these other options. Third-party database links. This is strictly for bookkeeping purposes. If you want to keep track of which kit here corresponds to which kit on other websites. I don't do anything with this information. There's no functionality to it, but you could refer to it later if you want to keep track of which kit corresponds to which. I'm just going to put my GEDmatch number in here so I know which kit it corresponds to on GEDmatch, for example, if I want to look at my matches there and look at them here. Okay, raw DNA upload, choose the file. When I do that, it's going to take me to a file dialog here where I can click on, it may take you to the downloads folder, which is actually probably more typical, and in which case you just click on the folder that was created and you'll see the ancestry.dna.txt, the text file here. And then you can either double click it or click open. I'm just going to double click it because it's faster. And then at the bottom, I got to click the big green button, upload the raw DNA file and donor profile information. Now this typically takes about 30 seconds. You can track the process on the progress on the bottom. So now it's already 19, 20, 21% done. So in about 30 seconds, the file will be uploaded to the Borland Genetics server, after which it has to go through a little bit of processing, and it checks to make sure it's a valid file and that it wasn't corrupted or anything like that before it adds it to the database. We're about 65% done here. Just a few more seconds. 90%. And now it is on the server and it's just being quality checked to make sure that it arrived properly and that there are no issues with the file itself. Okay, upload successful. You've successfully created a new donor profile for Kevin Borland, and that is information about the donor. And then the second one, it says you've successfully attached a new DNA resource to Kevin Borland, and that tells you that the DNA kit was properly processed and attached to the correct donor. Okay, so back to the Resource Manager widget, and there it is. You can see in my DNA inventory, I have now a kit for Kevin Borland. The status over here is that it's queued for processing, so it hasn't even begun to process yet. So let's do a couple things. First, let's view the kit. You're going to click on View, Edit, or Delete the kit, and it just shows you some general information about the kit. And a lot of it's just spitting back things that you just entered on the previous form. The donor name, the date and time it's uploaded, which could be useful. The source was Ancestry. We'll get into some of this other more complicated stuff later, but the status is also here that it's queued for processing. On the right side here is the bookkeeping information, GEDmatch, FTDNA numbers, and notes. If you put a note in here, it'll be visible to all users, but I may want to put, for example, this is an Ancestry version 2 kit. Actually, this is Ancestry version 1 kit from 2013. Okay, so there's some other stuff on this page too. I could add it to projects and things like that. But we're just going to process the changes and then go back to the kit, and you won't see anything on here, but now if I go now to view or edit or delete the kit, then I will see the changes that I made are there. So let's go back home, Resource Manager, and now let's take a look over here at the View Edit Donor Profile. So this is where, for example, if I decided, well, if I want to make it public, for example, I can make it public. Or if I want to put in a place of birth, I could put in Jersey City, New Jersey, and pretty much any place that you could find on Google will work. And that could be very specific too. Here, if I want to put a specific address, or if I want to put, the name of a hospital, see. You know, it'll find it just as if it would on Google Maps, and whatever you put in here, it's going to show other users. So you just want to make sure that you don't get too personal. Okay, so same thing with the picture, except it will be only shown to other users depending on whether you chose to make your profile public or private. Wiki tree node, that's kind of neat because it allows other users to see a family tree for you. So for example, if I go to Wiki tree and I'm already logged in, and I go to myself there, I see I'm Borland 643, and I can paste that into the form here. And this is optional, but it's a nice feature because when you click on it, now others can see your family tree. Okay, same thing, genetic family person name, that's another third-party tool, and there will probably be some functionality with that in the future. Family information, public pedigree. This is if you would like, either instead of or in addition to a wiki tree, you can, for example, put in the name of one of your parents or grandparents or all of your parents and grandparents, and it will display them to all users regardless of whether you chose public or private. So for example, if you don't want them to know who you are, but you want them to be able to, you know, have some useful genealogical information from looking at your kit and be able to have them make use of it for their analysis, you can make it private, but you could tell them who all 4 of your grandparents are. So we're going to process the changes, and let's go back to the resource manager, and now you can see the information about the location took. So, and so did the pedigree here. It shows Stephen Borland as my father. So now one more thing that you can do, and I recommend doing, is going into the settings. And this is your account settings. This isn't the settings for the kit or for the donor. This is, so for example, if you have a private kit, it'll say something like private kit administered by, and then whatever your messenger handle is. So you can select a messenger handle here. And by default, it puts your first and last name, and then other users it'll say, you know, private kit administered by Kevin Borland, and they don't know if it's me or if it's, you know, my uncle or my child or some stranger who has asked me to you know, administer their kit for them on this website. But if you want it to be super private, you could always change the messenger handle to something like Kevin001. And whenever you make a change on this side, it's going to ask you to make sure that the required information is entered, and here that's where I am located in Florida, United States, and this is simply for statistical purposes and also for my own compliance purposes potentially in the future. Let's see, so I'm going to process the changes, update successful, back to the resource manager widget. You won't see anything here, but other users, instead of saying Kevin Borland, if it was a private kit, they would see private kit administered by Kevin0001 now. And you can confirm that the changes were made if you go back to your settings, and all that information is still updated. So I think we've walked through all the steps now as far as how to download from Ancestry and how to upload to Borland Genetics. So give it a try, and I'm looking forward to having a lot more kits in the database. The more people that upload to the Borland Genetics database, the more valuable it is to all the users, because everyone will have more matches and be able to do more with the Borland Genetics reconstruction tools on the site.